Vox, I haven't seen too much for them on the day. Well, they're landing closer to that glacier, snow-esque side. The Bastion teams are making things so difficult. Rustguard and Hellfire. Levin, you were talking about the way they make decisions. Unfortunately, a wrong decision or an unfortunate zone bounce back got them eliminated in the last game. This time, they look to be strong once again. That last game, by the way, felt like it lasted 2 hours.
Right?
It's a long one.
A long one. Hellfire, though.
Oh! What?
He's just aim training right here in the grand final. Straight aim training.
That's like the biggest fear sometimes that you kind of disregard as a player too when you're kinetic blading. I won't build behind me. There's no way. Someone's gonna have to land like 4 body shots and a headshot while I fly. Who's capable of that?
Never think it happened. Never think it happened.
Could have happened to me.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen to you. You're just that guy, though, so it's a bit different. Then Anush not having to worry about Fiber and Artist. I believe they've taken him out. I'm guessing that's the 2 eliminations to their name. I've seen that fight a couple times. I drop and Matt Nada right now not fighting in the Anvil Square, fighting just at the gas station outside of it. Struggling to get there because
They have like no options at all, right? It's not like Eurus and Pauli and Chari have so many teams to fight. Going back and forth right now. Nice shot from Chari. Make the most of what you have. Oh, they're actually coming right back down for this fight. Jay and Cosmo are having that one. You don't get to shoot me while I fly away.
Jay and Cosmo taking a fight in stall. Surprises? Are you surprised?
Same old, same old? I'm not surprised.
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Same old, same old. But is this fight they'll win? Gareth is bleeding out right now, and so it definitely gives them the upper hand. I don't think they'll go for the loot just yet. They're going to look for the other player. Maybe not gone?
Yeah. Blue lined it in. They're both just, okay, Cosmo's making sure that there's no third party waiting for him. Jay's lagging behind him, maybe trying to find that loot.
think he was scouting out for Chari, right?
Oh.
I'm not quite sure where Chari is. And he is just sort of hiding in the zone. They assumed he white-lined it straight to the zone, but he didn't. He's still off in the zone, and now Jay has found him, and so they'll start to push him. Not satisfied with just picking up Giras. They want Chari down as well.
I would assume it was 4 points. You're maxed on materials overall. You could probably get a lot more value from keeping this duo alive. Tags over time, right? Especially if you can dominate them like this and make sure they're completely restricted from excess materials and whatnot. But this at least guarantees points. So if placements is something that's, you know, not guaranteed and troublesome, getting a guarantee of points might be the wave still. I feel like just being in zone, having control is the best possible thing to do. Now Jay and Cosmo will have to go right into gold. That's not gonna be the wave. Flixie and Reggie, sky high. And we found Pablo Wingo and Bevies. We contained them in a box. They're no longer running around. They also have a sky base in Mega City.
I think the thing for Jay and Cosmo is that they're used to fighting off to having a lot of early surge. So when they don't have that, they're trying to, you know, be very desperate in terms of how they get there. Jay, sorry, Flixie and Gryby, sorry, over here at Mega City. For Mega City, where there's just going to be so many opportunities to take shots at players like that. Again, the problem comes down to, are you really going to be able to, you know, like, there'll be opportunities. There's going to be players rotating in this area, but players are much more alert in the finals, at least you'd think. Irazumi and Syned over here at the Rift Island. It's funny because Malibuka tweeted after their win, stay away from the Rift Island. Syned and Irazumi like, yeah, I don't know about all that, guys. We're still going to make our way there.
Are y'all in this game? No? Okay.
All right.
My island now.
Oh, off to Rift Island we go.
Seems like to be a huge win condition for them because, yeah, it's also so cool to see how different those two teams use it. Tomasachi obviously a little bit more towards the sky. Irazumi box to box. Queasy Vino in a late Kenjutsu fight. And this is not for a cash. This is not for positioning really at all because the zone's about to move. They just feel like fighting.
Well, fortunately, they ain't got to move. The zone pulls perfectly
Oh, wow.
on them
Okay,
again,
never
right?
mind.
They ain't really got
sorry.
to do that. You clearly don't have the zones.
I wasn't familiar with your game. I have to apologize.
Yeah. It's all good, bro. But look, Darky and Grayson are contesting these guys and making it, you know, really sort of difficult for them in terms of cutting off loot, just sort of disrupting their regular plan. And I know these guys have spent all week planning and really, you know, trying to figure out the finer details of this general area based off of the teams they knew were going to be around them. And so to see them still doing well, even with, you know, that sort of spanner thrown into the works where a team's just landing on you now that you weren't, you know, prepared for, it is, again, a big testament to why these guys are some of the best players in the world. They can adapt in the highest stakes situation.
If you don't even believe what Levin's saying and you don't want to take opinion of sorts in the facts or into account, you can just look at the way they are on the leaderboards, right? In their worst games.
team that has thought well and hard about how they were going to play Surge in this lobby, and it is paying off. It is working out as good as it really can get. Because like you said, they are consistently making it through the mid-game without much worries. It's just about making things click once they get to endgame.
Yeah, that's the issue. Maybe they have a bit too much padding, not that much pressure. In some of these games, people just jump in on their lair and they're not ready to fight. That should change very, very soon. Possible J, easy slide in. Everyone rotating through Mega City. You can see how easy it is to find cover over here. So not many people will go down. But as a result, some of these teams who are very down bad on Surge might not have a chance to actually find it as much. Jay taking a little bit of damage, so a pit stop will have to be made. They'll go straight up. Probably weren't even planning for this, but let's see what Cosmo can find.
Yeah, and it might just work out better for them in terms of just having a higher position to kinetic blade from. Maybe get a bit more distance on their rotation.
Oh, look at where they have to land, though. Completely aquatic. And they're going to be forced into the water here, next to the pier, next to Jury and Ferdoxy, which I personally, not someone I want to box beside, because that's a fight waiting to happen.
Definitely not. Definitely not. And you're seeing what happens, right? When you sort of land in these positions just by the water, the team's elevated, sitting higher above in the land. They're just going to sit there and take shots at you. They know you're in an uncomfortable spot. Anchoring Gold barely moving out of the way of Hellfire and Resguard, but they're still going to keep applying that pressure.
They're trying to make the most of the situation, because after this, they're not going to be able to interact with anyone really from this point on. Look at the rotation the entire lobby has to make, most of which, as we can see right now, you can see the lightning strikes. Every time you see one, that's a duo that's down on Surge. Vaniac and Karmi too. Once again, lobby leaders, 200 points, they're in first place. Issues with Storm Surge.
And in games where, Shai, we've already seen these teams struggling to hold onto their mats deep into the game, this is going to be one of the most taxing games on your materials there is.
This is a triple overlap Venn diagram. On one side, you have to build on water, your mats cut in half. On the other side, you have to rotate with 20 teams, your mats cut in half. And on the other side, there's 12 zones to play with, Levin. Your mats cut in half again. That's 3 halves. That doesn't mathematically equate.
No mats.
No mats.
Left. And we're going to see it. A team here, Vaniac and Kami, have been so impressive, leading the way in this lobby. Again, making a tough rotation, having to tank a bunch of damage, and he has the shields to deal with it, but he's slowly running out of the materials. Like you said, mats cut in half.
Twice, and now he has to also deal with Surge, the 4th half, and he's trying to find it, but then playing defense on that, going for these Surge battles, yeah, it costs you ammo, yeah, it costs you a little bit of damage, it also costs you mats.
And slowing down and having to stop here for just a couple of moments is going to give time for all those teams now from that side he was just on to now start rotating on top of his head. He needs to start moving quickly.
Tsunami of players, and you can see the pressure getting to him. Vaniac missed edit, and now that costs him half his mats. You can't.
Doesn't have any room. Literally no room for error here. Where's he gonna land?
What?
This is gonna be so tough.
It's Reason and Janice. Okay, I mean, this is an okay position. Stuck right beside a rock, but everyone has to rotate into you, so... And I guess Cammy and Seti are looking to beam other players. No one's focusing on your box. I'm just worried for Vaniac.
The natural rotation for him to make there now would be with that kinetic blade, but he doesn't have mats to work with. So
Yeah.
I don't know where he lands. He's gonna have to just try landing someone's box, I guess. Something crazy is gonna happen with him. Cammy and Seti, though, in a similar area to him, but they have much more to work with. Kinetic blades with 3 charges will mean that they can safely get to the next zone and the materials as well. He's down on Surge. He's being taken out by everyone. People are watching him. People are looking at him, hiding behind a ramp, stuck against the side of this hill. It's all over for Vaniac and Karmi, and you've got to start thinking about whether or not that first place slot's going to hold.
I think the lobby's just too close to call at this point. No way, Jose, but hopefully they can keep that top 5. Meanwhile, we'll tune into an alternate dimension with Queasy and Vino, because once again, it doesn't look like they're in the same game. Do you feel a sense of pressure?
Right now, for them, no.
A sense of urgency?
No.
Any trouble, Surge?
Not one bit.
Oh, kinetic blades. Good? I mean...
Good.
That's ridiculous.
Doesn't get better than that for them, right? And you can see instantly taking tags onto players, rotating onto the side they want to get to. It's Vidil and Savage, and now they want to take this fight. And Vino, when he wants to take a fight, typically is a scary sight. So very, very fortunate that a couple players start taking shots at them. They'll reposition, look for another angle, and then look to get ahead of that team, right? Prioritize the positioning over taking the fight. and now these guys are sitting in an even more comfortable position.
This is huge. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Irazumi, Sined, when it comes to influence, when it comes to not actually just hiding from things, having protocols to get you to the end of the game, when it comes to control, power, dominance on the field, these guys have pulse rifles and ultimate high ground. They'll see people move, and I talked about it already, when you have to move over water, when you're moving with 20 teams, when you're accounting for surge, you're not gonna have mats. That's one of the best things for a high ground team with pulse rifles. Mustache and Tayson also work really well against people who are very desperate. They'll bait layers below them even when they don't even exist, and Mustache does it again, finds a few tags, they're good on surge, they have to move now.
And even their materials in this lobby look fruitful compared to what a lot of the other players will be looking and working with.
These players who are trying to work as soon as they get out of their box. I mean, for Mr. Savage, he tried to move Irazumi from up high, those pulse rifles, once I'm gonna beam, he's gone.
And we know how powerful they are. The deal, having to play this one out as a solo, but I've seen so many great solo moments from him this season, and we might just get another one in our hands, putting that SMG to good use. Tayson Mustache, though, still alive, haven't quite hit the heights of their game one win, but now trying to make something happen, blading their way through onto zone, and ahead of all these other teams.
Oh, I see Queasy rising above. You can kind of see his fin like a shark above water, going for high ground. Not really collapsing on it just yet. This will be up against Irazumi, against double pulse rifles. It will be tough. Meanwhile, Badil, really good solo clutch in the makings right now. Has that slurp ticking, has a spot a little bit closer to that low ground. Check out Sky, they're going to be pressuring him. They're going to go all in for that box. It'll be very tough for him to live. Badil on the bottom side, Flix is going up towards the Sky too. Vino looking to actually claim it and hold it. Is anyone else going to challenge is the question. Sit up on the backside. Gets challenged, knocked down. No one's trying for it. They have it again.
Pushing people off, but still looking now to make sure they solidify it. Cammy and Seta down below, and they still have some materials. We're going to have to start thinking about how to get some more. Playing low ground in this lobby is much, much more difficult. With it going over the water, they needed to start pulling towards the islands.
Not an option for Cammy and Seta yet, which means basically no points to accumulate in terms of eliminations. Reese and Janice, kind of in that same circumstance. They want to be able to dip to low to at least have a little bit of a chance to breathe, but that's not going to be possible, so they will get chipped away as they rotate towards their next box, their next layer. Now side by side against boxes down the wood. It's going to be tough. Mustache finds another as him and Tayson get split apart. It's up to him to solo this game, and he goes and somehow still finds himself alive.
The zone keeps pulling over water though, so these mats are just going to continue to be burned through. Badil's making it happen though, running into a box, picking up Sided, and looking for even more. He's picked up Pandelex now. Badil was on a tear. He has the pulse rifles, and he has a pathway to the zone.
Power in Badil's inventory, but what can he actually do with it? Some mats to use as well. I drop map down low, bounce back. How does that look in this claustrophobic layer? On all sides, the mats are dwindling, running low. The corners of your screen turning dark. You're not sure exactly where to shoot. No one's making the first edit. No one's going down just yet. You have to force something. Spray on the walls. Matt looks for it, but can't find anything.
The zone just pulled far, and it's pulling far again. These guys are going to have to make the last of these couple of builds because they don't have any more left. The shotguns need to start connecting. They have the angle, they have the peak, and they have the shotgun pellets. Hitting one, Gripey falls before Matt falls as well. iDrop has to respond. He's looking to try to solidify that. That's 4 points added to the tally.
Finds the finish. An enemy swims right below him, and iDrop can't even see. 29 HP to work with as just a few more duels left alive. Reason going to be his next target, and he strikes from down below. Trapped. Will he have a chance to breathe again? He's just trying to outlast things, play for that placement. 4 more duels gone down. Huge decision from iDrop. Mixon now back in tow with his duo. Him and Blotch have a chance to win too.
Mixon just focused on staying alive. They didn't quite realize, but now they do. They know he's below. They'll drop down, try to take him out. Don't have that fall. Wall chop it. iDrop will try and respond, but he's no match. Mixon and Blatcher have it easily. Vino now dropping down. He wants to close out the game. He doesn't even want to give them a chance to breathe and realize it's a 2v2. He drops down, picks up one, looks for the other, and it's done. Queasy and Vino, another victory for this team.
A spear with a sharp head in front of it. This duel is unstoppable, unreachable, and absolutely lethal inside the first day of EU.
In a game where so many teams felt like they were struggling, trying to hustle their way through that game, these guys had the easiest of rides. It was so simple for them all throughout that end game, and they close it out in typical Queasy and Vino fashion.
I'm hearing that Queasy's falling asleep. He's having trouble staying awake this up in CS. I mean, if you're playing like this, then things are going to protocol. They're going your way. Vino's down low, taking on these 1v2s. everything's going to plan. These guys are the bread and butter of EU. Nothing can stop them.
And look, we were talking about how earlier Queasy's probably falling asleep on hype. He most definitely is. Because early in the season, he would have at least had to heal off, right? You know, try play for the heal off, run back in his zone, have to actually do something. Now he can just sit there and watch as Vino picks up all their limbs down below.
Whether it's comedy, action, suspense, you can give a tag for this duel because we can't really figure it out. Are they sleeping? Are they awake? We know they're great. What do Adam and the analyst think? Because that's a nuts game.
Absolutely nuts. I mean, Queasy and Vino again, victory royale here. I mean, I'm glad we hyped up top of the show because they're proving that the proof is in the pudding right now. Unbelievable scenes. I mean, the fact that they split up as well. One, you know, Queasy up top, Vino down below, sweeping up. Absolutely amazing. Taco, what a great game from this pair.
And it's almost expected at this point. I mean, the moment that you see Queasy establishing himself on that high ground, just continuing to pose such a threat from above, he doesn't even need to IGL for Veno. He can use his own eyesight, and it became a situation of stay alert, stay alive for everybody aside from those two.
Look, I'm getting a little sense of deja vu, right? We've seen this today. We've seen Queasy and Vino dominate that high ground from the 1 versus 2 down below to Queasy, you know, up in the clouds, kind of looking down. Oh, Vino just took out 2 opponents, just got us the VR. You know, I'll take it.
Absolutely right. I mean, this team right now, we love to kind of share with you guys at home how much we get excited about these particular duos and who we think is going to go the way. But it really is a case now of everything they've done up until this point, the experiences they've had. It all comes together, the combination, everything. We're seeing it in front of our very eyes here. Why they are so good, but they're able to move with everything that's thrown in front of them. They are an unstoppable force, Taco.
Again, it's just the awareness level, really, that this duo chooses to consistently maintain throughout the entirety of a single lobby, because it doesn't matter who might actually be trying to prioritize height. At some point, if Queasy and Veno are still up, they're going to chop you down, and they're going to just siege it by force.
Look, they make it happen, right? They can get the job done. I'm looking forward to see if maybe we can get a Thomas HD off spawn again and have them go up against Queasy Vino in the late game, but they're going to have to get off the start for that.
Yeah, I think we'd all love to see that. But what we're excited to see here as well is currently how the leaderboard stands as well. Let's take a look at this. The standings right now, and there they are atop the rest of the pack here in Grand Finals after the game from before here. Queasy and Vino with 280 points, 20 eliminations, 200 placement points. I mean, they are way out in front here, Taco.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, having 2 victory royales is really starting to become more of a separating factor. Those eliminations might be worth 4 points a pop, but if you can just keep collecting more and more game 1 wins, there's only so much you can do. And Queasy and Veno, they just seem unstoppable.
They do, but let's take a look at the number 2 on the leaderboard. Blacha and Mixin at 246 points. This duo is not someone you want to sleep on. Mixin here, you can see 4 eliminations already, bumping it up to 5 on SETI. They were looking unstoppable in this match. The synergy, the chemistry, they were playing together. And although it did ultimately end with the Veno 1 versus 2, at least they got that 2nd place and a good amount of eliminations that bumped them up to that 2nd place spot on the leaderboard.
They're basically just making do with what they've got, because we can see their mats running incredibly low, forced to kind of take shelter underneath some of those low layers that have already been established from before. But I think where it really starts for this duo is that they've actually been slightly surprise contested over at Meadow Mansion. It's been Mikkel and Monet that have been forced off of their original drop spot because of Hanyak and Karmi. And so seeing Blacha and Mixin find that success, I think, stems back to the fact they've got their damage early.
Yeah, they really have. They bumped up 3 points to 3 positions now into 2nd. Let's look at the rest of the leaderboard here as well. We can see now as well, Cami and SETI, there they are, sat in 7th position right now. 8 eliminations, 170 placements. They are putting themselves in contention. They're managing to stay in there. May not have a victory royale just yet, Takata, but they're managing to get in there, at least put themselves up for consideration when it comes to Grand Finals and the Action Champions.
Right, it's not a bad place to be in, right? Being in the top 10, being in the 7th place spot, they're kind of one big game away from bumping themselves up to that top 3 or even, you know, 2nd, 1st place on the leaderboard. We saw what Thomas HD and Malabuko were capable of when they got a big, impactful match. So if Cami and SETI can keep up the consistency and then get one big game, you know, they'll make their way up that leaderboard.
I mean, I think SETI and Cami are probably the embodiment of slow and steady wins the race, because how many times have we seen them in this position where they're not necessarily in that top 5 just yet, but it only takes 1 or 2 games to actually catapult yourself into that position, and it's proven already by how far they've climbed as is.
It really is. It's exciting. It's 4 games down, 2 to go today. But one thing we often talk about here on the show is Storm Surge. For newer players as well, they want to get to know exactly what's going on here. But Storm Surge, look at this. I love the lights have changed like a superhero. Full control right now. Storm Surge, a massive factor in this. And for those who might be wanting to know more about it, how has it been affecting Grand Finals thus far?
Yeah, so let's take a look here. We're on the southeast side of the map by Mega City, and if you look at the left side of this zone, that's going to be the congested side, and that's exactly where Vanyak and Karmi positioned themselves, but on a hill, so they're elevated enough to see all those duos that are rotating in through the POIs to the congested side of this zone, where the contrary dead side by Naughty Nets and Kajutsu Crossing, and doesn't have a lot of people. Now they have a lot of options from all these players, all these duos rotating in to get that damage.
And what I really love about this from Vanyak and Karmi is that this is key adaptability here, something that you kind of expect from a duo that's consistently made it into Grand Finals 10 times.
Oh fuck. Hallo? Roland, kan je mij horen? Kan je me horen in Fortnite? Fucking hell. Maar kan je me in Fortnite horen? Kan je me in game horen? Oké, nice.
Zo.
Yo, kan je me horen?
Ja.
Oké, nice.
Ik was even mijn mic kwijt, want ik moest hem nog even aansluiten.
Dat is pech, mic weg. Oké, dus aimen.
En nu, waar komt die mic van jou vandaan? Je had geen mic,
Die
toch?
mic. Ik had een mic in een of andere skere laan liggen, dus ja.
Ja, Eamon zit denk ik een ander spel. Oké, laat me even kijken op mijn PlayStation of wat hij zit te spelen. Ik heb geen idee. Oké, druk gewoon ready.
Hij zit op dezelfde website zoals jij.
Hey, wil je deze emote ook?
Welke iemand? Op zich, hij is wel cool, maar meh. Kill, jouw skin is wel echt...
Aura skin. Heb je geen andere skins dan dat? Ik bedoel, behalve Marvel skins.
Tuurlijk heb ik wel andere skins, alleen die zijn gewoon niet zo smexy. Sowieso word je beprikt van Fortnite.
Ik zag dat je gisteren online was op Fortnite.
Hey yo.
Ah, lekker.
What the fuck, wat heb je net gedaan, jongeman? Nee, zeg eens, jongeman.
Niks, niemand doet wel.
Zeg eens, meneer, wat heb jij net gedaan?
Niks.
Jongeman, vertel eens.
Bro, met jouw Fortnite spelen is echt grappig, jongen, ik zweer.
Vertel eens, jongeman, wat was jij dit aan het doen? Was dat gewoon illegaal?
Weet je wat voor gevoel ik nu heb? Verdriet, ik zweer. Ik had een vriend sinds season 3 en mijn account is gehackt. Ik speel elke dag met hem, hè.
Porno.
Hele zomervakantie, was een Engelse guy. We hadden met elkaar afgesproken dat ik naar Londen zou gaan. Deze zomervakantie, hè.
Weet je wat ik ervan vind? Skill issue, R plus ratio. Kom, gaan er meteen uit.
Het is gewoon liefdesverdriet.
Pornhub, liefdesverdriet. Stuur nudes en naaktfilmpjes.
Ik ben nu live, hè, doe normaal. Ja.
Wacht,
Wacht. Davy, kom hier landen. Wacht, waar is de plek? Kijk, conferentielanden.
Ja, gast, op mijn map is het alleen maar vraagtekens. Ik zie geen conferentielanden. Ik heb alleen maar vraagtekens. What the fuck? Was dit niet waar die Sloan was?
Nee.
Oh, het lijkt op de plek waar die dokter Sloan was.
Is dit zo... Ik ga het niet zeggen op stream. Dat is een domme vraag.
Nee, zeg. Gast, jongen, beide gooien. Ja,
kan je? Wacht even. Niet slopen, ga fall damage krijgen. Je hebt echt een homo.
Fuck. Ja, hoe moet ik verwachten dat die shit helemaal Wat zijn dat soort wapens die ik hoor?
Dat ben ik.
Ik kom hier niet bij. Waar is hij?
Ik heb hem al dood.
Oh nee, ik wil neuk nou. Hoeveel mensen kijken hier live?
Niemand. Nou, ik ben de enige die kijkt.
Nigger.
Nee, maar YouTube, ga je die video terug, jongen.
Oh.
Blijf hier staan. Niet stil blijven staan. Ik ga niet buiten pakken.
Hey, 13 hit. Nog een keer 13. 14. Hey, ik heb assist.
Lekker. Zag je één van me?
Wat zei je?
Dan zag je weer één.
Echt jongen, verwijder deze live video, ik zweer het je.
Waarom moet ik het verwijderen? Ga er eens afstaan. Ga snel af, want die gaat oplossen. Nee, grapje.
Ah, ik heb wel een goede loot. Joink. Joink, joink. Hé, wat is dit? Oeh, ik maak jou nat.
Donate to charity.
Wat ga je donaten? Hey,
Oh.
sniper.
Wil je die?
Ja, joink.
Pak maar, het is veel te
Joink.
blauw. Kom gaan
En
eten.
ik heb geen bullet voor het kudding. Fuck! Hé, ik heb weer zo'n ding. Wat is Keymaster?
Oh, dat is goed, dan krijg je keys.
Ik heb er 2. Wat kan ik ermee?
Dan kun je dingen mee kopen.
Welke deur kan ik openmaken?
Nee, nee, koop er wel. Wacht even. Dood.
Sink. Ja, dat is het.
Kom, blijf schieten. Lekker, jongen. Kom, revive. Nee, ga weg. Rennen. Kijk, dat is de manier hoe je die zwaard moet gebruiken.
What the fuck is die D15 blaster rifle?
Dat is van die Star Wars shit, dat is aimbot.
What the fuck? Oh, Jezus Christus. What the fuck is dit seizoen? Waar gaat de wereld naartoe?
Kom naar lobby. Ja. Level 3, lekker man. Wat gaat er op 16 mei?
Bro is nog steeds live, nou.